Hey guys, after the iPhone SE's release, many people were wondering if the camera quality between the SE and the 8 were different or not. So I took several pictures to compare them both, and in today's video we're going to decide together which of these iPhones would be the winner in regards to photography. Starting off with a selfie that I took with the front camera, I can say that they can be really similar when we first look at them. However, after analyzing them a little bit more, I've noticed a few things. First, the selfie from the iPhone 8 is sharper with more contrast, and I also prefer the colors. I feel like they are more realistic, which I prefer. But at the same time, the whites are overexposed, which is not so good, as the overexposed areas in a photo don't have all the details and they cannot be recovered even with edits. So if I had to choose one of these photos, I would choose the selfie took with the iPhone SE because the contrast and a little bit more sharpness can definitely be added when editing. But the overexposed area in the iPhone 8's photo cannot be fixed. Now, if you're the type of person that never edits a photo, the iPhone 8's photo may be better. This was a really tough choice. Now, I took another selfie with the front lens, now using portrait mode, so you guys can see how it looks, but we cannot really compare this one to the iPhone 8 because portrait mode is not available in the iPhone 8. The quality itself is really similar to the other selfie that I took, but it now has the blurred background. And even though portrait mode is getting better with time, I still cannot use it because the edges are still not good. At least I don't think so, and it bothers me. You can really tell that the edges are not exactly correct if you pay attention to my hairline. The software cannot really tell what's in the background and what's not. Still talking about selfies, these two selfies were taken with the rear lens, but I was trying portrait mode on the iPhone SE again. Analyzing these two pictures, there are some things that I would like for you to pay attention to. First, in this test, the iPhone SE is extremely sharper than the iPhone 8. I don't really know what happened here, but it even looks like the iPhone 8's lens is dirty. I know that it wasn't though, because I was cleaning the lens every time before taking a new picture. Second, even though the photo in the iPhone SE has less contrast than the iPhone 8's, I still think that the SE's photo looks a lot better. I think that the iPhone 8's photo has too much contrast now, and the photo is even a little bit dark. And third, I've noticed that portrait mode works a lot better when you take a photo with the rear lens. You can really see the difference on my hairline if you compare the first and second selfie that I took while using portrait mode. One with the front lens and this one with the rear lens. So it's important to consider this if you like to use portrait mode. Make sure you prioritize the rear camera. Now, talking about photos of objects or spaces, I would say, the iPhone SE is still winning in my opinion. Even though both photos are almost identical in this comparison and I generally prefer more contrasty pictures, I still think that the iPhone 8's photo still has the overexposed area. The brightest parts are overexposed. So the detail was lost in that area and I wouldn't be able to recover it when editing. In this case, you can notice that in the bottom left corner where the yellow light is too bright. Besides, the iPhone SE's photo is sharper. If you pay attention to the monitor's buttons, you can see that the menu button is not even readable in the iPhone 8's photo. In the photo from the iPhone SE, on the other hand, we can definitely read the menu button. Same thing happened here with the flowers. The iPhone 8 adds more contrast, is less sharp, and it's not dealing extremely well with exposure, which results in areas that are overexposed. In this photo in particular, you can see that if you look at the petals and at the sky in the background. The exposure and sharpness from the iPhone SE is more pleasant to the eyes. This landscape photo made me get closer to my final opinion and say that the iPhone SE is still ahead. I still notice that the other aspects that I mentioned before, the photos are sharper, the exposure is better, which results in a more balanced photo overall. And finalizing my comparisons, both the iPhones SE and 8 don't currently have night mode. However, I took a photo with both of them in a darker situation to see how they would behave in low light. And once again, the iPhone SE's photo is sharper with less grain, which is something that you can really tell if you pay attention to the text. Also, the exposure is still better, so more details are preserved. Now, the last part of this video is yours. I've asked you to vote in your favorite photos on my Instagram. Also, in case you're not following me on Instagram yet, make sure you do, because I show a little bit of my life behind the scenes. I also show products when they arrive and a lot more. My Instagram is Marina E. Montero. But going back to the video, I've posted all the pictures that I've shown you guys here on my Instagram, and I've asked you to choose the ones that you preferred. I didn't tell you which ones were from the iPhone SE and which ones were from the iPhone 8, and your opinion was exactly like mine. You guys also preferred the pictures from the iPhone SE in all the comparisons. The iPhone SE got 62% of the votes on my setups photo, 72% of the votes on my outside selfie, 72% of the votes again on the landscape photo, 62% of the votes on the candles photo, and the only ones that had a tighter result were the first selfie and the flowers photo. 58% of you guys chose the iPhone SE selfie over the iPhone 8s. I really believe that this happened because both of these selfies were really similar. It really comes down to what you rather have, more contrast, better exposure, and 54% of you guys chose the iPhone SE flower photo. I believe that these photos could be seen as similar as well, but the iPhone 8's photo is still less sharp and a few areas are a bit overexposed. But this was the photo comparison between the iPhones 8 and SE. In my opinion, the iPhone SE was ahead in all of my comparisons, but the first selfie, which was kind of hard to choose. But the iPhone 8 continues to be a great phone and it takes good photos as well. Let me know down below in the comments what you think, if you agree with me or not. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.